Oh, well, well, well. Good afternoon, good evening, good evening. How is everyone doing? Happy Monday, and welcome back to Miss G's Ladies Lounge. Listen, it's been a good while, but we are here. We are back. Oh my goodness. It's been a few months, but we're back, and I'm so excited to be back with you on tonight. And I hope that everyone is having a wonderful time. Listen, before we get started, do me a favor, take a moment, like, tag, and share. Share the stream with your neighbors, your friends, with everyone. Let them know that Miss G's Ladies Lounge, yeah, we're back. We're back. Miss G's Ladies Lounge. We're here, we are live, and we're ready. We are ready to roll. So I'm excited about tonight. Somebody just say all things new. So we're doing a lot of new things on tonight, and I'm excited about it. And I want you to make sure that you stick around and see and hear everything that we have going on for you on tonight. So let me first introduce myself to those who may not know. I am your host, Gwen MsG. That's me. I am here. I am a visionary startup and book coach. I am also the host here at Miss G's Ladies Lounge. And I love bringing opportunities for especially women who are ready to thrive. Doesn't matter how old they are, but we do kind of love those women that are in their mature ages and ready to move forward, ready to thrive. If you're still alive and you want to thrive, come on and hang out with us here at Miss G's Ladies Lounge. So listen, today I have it's Women's Month. We started out, I believe, March the 8th was Women's History Day or International Women's Day, and we want to make sure that we're in the loop as at the Ladies Lounge. What else would we do but to celebrate so many wonderful women that are hanging around, and so many wonderful individuals who are strong women that are empowering others and being a light and an example to others. And so here we are today. We want to shine the light on a few other women that are close to our heart. So I have a wonderful guest joining me today in the lounge. She's getting ready to come in just a minute. But again, if you can, just like, tag, and share. Like, tag, and share. Listen, we here at Miss G's Ladies Lounge, we love making sure that everyone knows about every good thing that's going on so that you can also be a part of it. So don't be selfish. Make sure that you share, okay? All right. And this is your relaxation station. So you can let your hair down, you can put your feet up, and you can just relax. Let us do the talking. You can listen and you can type over there in that chat. If you have any questions, you can go ahead and put your questions in the chat, and we'll be so glad to answer your questions to the best of our ability. All right, all right, all right, all right. Now let's get ready for this great guest that I have here tonight. I have with me the one and the only Dr. Z. Michelle Hughes. She is no stranger to the lounge. We love having her here. Dr. Hughes has been nothing but inspiration to not just me, but so many women who have um, been in her presence. What a wonderful way to start off our women's, or well, we're in the middle of almost the end of the month, but we're starting it off. So, what a wonderful way for us to share with such a wonderful and amazing woman. So, would you help me join? Welcome to the stage. Help me welcome to the stage my sister, my friend, Dr. Z. Michelle Hughes. Help me welcome. Hey, how you doing? How you doing?
We are awesome. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here on this fantastic, magnificent Monday.
Yes,
Sorry.
it is just that Monday is you can either love it or hate it, right? But the best
Exactly.
thing to do is to just embrace it, get through it, and you know that the rest of the week is coming along, right?
Yes.
So, and you know what? The I think the best way to look at it is that Monday is a new start to the productivity that we can create, more great things, more wealth, more joy, whatever, throughout the week, right? So
Yeah.
I guess
Yeah.
as they say, it's all about perception.
All about perception.
It's
Yes.
all about perception. Now, of course, now I can say that because I've been out of the workplace for a few months, so it hasn't hit me yet. But ask me again in a couple of weeks when I return to the workplace, and we'll see how I feel about it. Okay.
Amen. Yes.
So, Dr. Michelle, listen, as I said, we're so glad to have you here with us on tonight. Let me just ask you right now to give us just a brief overview of who Dr. Z. Michelle is.
Mm. Well, Elder Gwen, I am so excited to be here in the ladies' lounge again. It is always a pleasure to be with you and your listening and viewing audience. So, Dr. Z. Michelle Hughes is a woman that is married to the love of her life partner, her soulmate for 40 over 40 plus years. We have three amazing young adults,
Mhm.
wonderful 10 grandchildren. I co-labor with him in the ministry. I served his mother, Senior Pastor Dorothy Hughes, for over 20 years. And when she
Mm.
transitioned almost 3 years ago, then the Lord saw fit to put us at the helm. So we are
Okay.
building Redemptive Grace Ministries right now. I have a couple of businesses, not really active right now because we're building the ministry, but
Okay.
I don't know. We may resurrect them right now. I'm retired, semi retired, I call myself. Retired as a quality
Mhm.
analyst after 36 and a half years at Philip Morris. And then I just went back into the workforce about 2 years ago, and I'm
Okay.
transporting special needs children to school.
Oh,
So my
wow.
life is very full. It's very
Right,
full, but
right.
let's
Yeah, and that's a lot right there. Just dealing with special needs children. I'm sorry, I'm not ignoring you. I'm trying to find our stream so I could share it on my personal page. I'm not finding it over here. Hopefully, we are all the way live.
all the way.
So I want to make sure we are all the way live. It says watch on YouTube, watch on Facebook. Um, but I'm not finding it. So anyway, we're going to keep going. And it says we're live here. So hopefully we are actually live. If not, we will definitely edit and, put it out live.
Okay.
So, Dr. Michelle, it's so many different things going on in the world, and there's so many prejudices. There's so many. Uh, uh, um, I'm thinking of the word. The word I'm trying to think of is so many things that we have to encounter as a woman, as some racial tensions, gender. There's just so many different things. But today we want to talk about being a woman, and we want to talk about some influential women and some things that we can celebrate women for today. So I want to ask you just a simple question. What does it mean to you to be a woman?
What it means to me to be a woman is to be empowered. Women are very strong, they're resolute, they're resilient.
Mhm.
They know how to do things. They know how to make lemon made out of lemons, and they do
Okay.
it quite well. So to
Mm-hmm.
me, to be a woman is to be privileged, is
Mm-hmm.
honorable, and but what sticks with me is resilience. Most
Resilience.
women are very, very resilient. They have a internal power deep down inside that they probably aren't fully aware that they have. But it
Okay.
exists in every woman
Mm-hmm.
because you have a woman, even if you don't have children, you have a mama bear instinct that
Mm.
goes into protection mode. If somebody messes with your children, your sister, your brother, your mama, don't talk about my mama now.
Come
Something
on
wrong
now.
with it. They don't knock my mama off the
Right.
shoulder. Ah!
Right.
And they have
Right.
a fight. And they knock the stick off and you fight. So
Yeah.
that's what a woman means to me. Being a woman is just
Okay.
being resilient.
Okay. All right. I finally found the stream. How about that?
Oh,
I
good.
was like, what is going on here? But I hold on one second. We've got to make this public because it's edited my privacy. Um, and so it's not allowing me to make it public. Oh, it made it for only me. Listen, we want everybody to have a part of this. All right, well, we're public now, so we're gonna go. We're gonna go forth. I believe we're public now. We're gonna go forth with this conversation. So we were talking about women in ministry and women in business, just women, what it means to be a woman. So I think that being a woman also encompasses strength.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, strength is, you said resilience, and strength is just like really a big portion of who we are. And
Mhm.
they talk about, you know, male men having, you know, the muscles and the body strength and all that, but we have inner strength. We
Yes.
we have that inner strength that helps us to, you know, deal with. And I've never had any children, but have being a nurse and seeing others and watching people bear. I'm like, look, these some strong women. First of all, to carry this load for 9 months, you know,
Absolutely.
and then to go and, you know, be able to give birth and the birthing process, all of that, it takes a strong woman to make all of these things. Now, we love our men, we love their strength and their um, abilities to do what they do, but there is nothing like a woman's strength, nothing like it.
No, there really
So
is.
it is not. It's not. And everybody has their perspective places, and that's the good thing. Everybody has their perspective places, and knowing what your place is in, you know, is important as well.
Mhm.
So let me ask you this question that we have here: what woman in your personal life has inspired you the most, and why? In your personal life,
In
what
my
woman?
in my personal life, the woman that has inspired me the most is my mother.
Mm,
My mother raised 6 children.
mhm.
She was a single mother. She worked 3 jobs, and when people say, "How did she work 3 jobs?" Her
Wow.
full time job, she worked 8 hours a day. Then she worked at
Mhm.
night, and from the hospital, she had days off. I think she had maybe Tuesdays off, maybe Tuesday and Thursdays, or Thursday and Fridays. On her days off, she worked a third job.
Mm,
So we weren't on welfare. We wore nice clothes. We ate every night. And so my
mm,
mother was very, very strong. And she got married when she was 15. So by the
mhm.
age of 17, I was her third child. It was
Oh,
my dad, where she was married. And so she went on to have 3 more kids after me. But
mm,
she's very strong. She said that inner strength. You think about being 15 and being married, and then you, by the age of 17, you have 3 kids and a husband.
wow.
And you have to maintain a household. And then you have 3 kids after that.
And
And so
then,
my mom, she pushed
yeah.
education. I don't know how far she went in school. I mean, to be 15, you have to be in at least the 10th grade.
Mhm.
But she stressed education. And
Okay.
she pushed that. She really pushed that for us. I excelled in that area, so I put that on to my children, and I pushed the education, and now I'm pushing it to my grandchildren. So it would be my mom,
Okay.
Selena, Georgia, Lewis, Protestant Hope.
All right. All right, Mother Selena. Yes, yes, yes.
Yes.
So with that, now that's your personal life. Let's go to your professional life, or professional women. It doesn't have to be anybody that you personally know, but who inspired you? And you are quite the professional woman, which we have not brought forth your bio. However, you carry many doctorates and all types of degrees and certifications, and you're wonderfully retired.
Yeah.
So you have many years of experience. But as a professional woman, or watching a professional woman, who would it be that inspired you and why?
That's really a difficult question for me because, like I said, my mom in the personal life, but she pushed me. I went to work at Philip Morris really, really early, straight out of high school, actually. The same year I graduated, a couple months after I graduated from high
Mm-hmm.
school. And I ran across several very strong women. Mary Gordon is one. I forgot what church she attended. She was our vice president. I met her when she was an engineer, and she went on to become the vice president of the quality department. And I remember when she came in, that's one lady that I looked at from a professional standpoint.
Wow.
Then the Tanya Cook, she was another African American female that was a director at Philip Morris. I followed her
Mm-hmm.
a lot. I was already there, so I'd been there a number of years, but those are
Mm-hmm.
the two that I could say I kind of focus on. And then watching, of course, Michelle Obama.
Ah,
Just watching her, I read her book, Becoming Michelle Obama, watching her and learning about her life. That had a small impact. That
okay.
very,
Yeah.
I
Well,
was very,
by then you were already quite accomplished.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah, but it's, you're still young. So you still have a lot left inside of you. And I know that there's much more coming. There's much more in store, as they say.
Yeah, my book.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We'll talk about that. So, with your ministry life, because you, and I think you talked a little bit about it, but you have been in ministry for many, many years now.
Mhm.
Um, so, as a person of ministry, looking at women, who would you say inspired you the most and why?
The person that inspired me the most, I would in ministry would say there are a couple, but the one at the top of the list is my mom in love,
Hmm.
Senior Pastor Dorothy.
Right.
Even before she became a pastor and she would go out and speak, she would take myself with her and one of the other young ladies. And she taught us how to work the altar. She taught
Hmm.
us how to intercede for her while she was praying. She taught us how to pray for people and what to do. And I can work an altar. I always tell people I can catch a 300-pound man, but I watch the altar,
Right.
watch and work. And so she would be the main person that inspired me just with her grace, her patience, her perseverance. Sometimes I would want to answer something one way and she would give me a different spin on it. And I would always say, when she became a pastor, that's why you're the pastor.
Hmm.
So I learned so much,
Yeah.
not only just being her daughter in love. I mean, married her only son, so I was part of her life for
Right.
37 years before she, or actually 38 years before she transitioned. So I got saved when I was 19 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I was,
Wow.
it was her. And some of the older saints, the older mothers, teach me how to pray. I was in the 5 o'clock prayer. I ran a 5 a.m. prayer at St. Mark. That was the foundation of those saintly mothers, Mother Eleanor Dunlap and Sally Wade and Sarah Howard,
Mhm.
Mother Annie Cooper, and all those people, Lucia Miles, the things that they put in us. And I'm one of the few ones at my age that was able to reap that benefit from all of those wonderful Mother Rosetta Wynn, all of
Right.
those women, those pioneers in the church.
Mhm.
And that, but the top one would be Senior Pastor Dorothy.
Awesome. And yeah, I love that. I love that for you. I had a lot of when I think back about some of the people that I came in contact with. Of course, in my personal life, my mom would probably be, or not probably was, one of the most inspirational people to me. And we talk all the time about, how my family, we talk about how we have gained different aspects or attributes from her, and so each one of us has something that she possessed that stands out. um, for me, it was that coordinator. My mother
Okay.
was, she was the coordinator. She was going to put something together. She was going to make something happen. She was going to have an event. She,
Oh,
you
wow.
know, she was a seamstress, so she would sew her own clothes and then have her own fashion show.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
and so she was about raising, most of it was about raising funds for the church. It wasn't for herself. Most of the time, it was about raising funds for the church. And so she would definitely have that, coordinating as a part of her life. And I remember some of the events that we had that we probably downplayed it as young people. But if we realize now, the people that she introduced us to, or the environments that she introduced us to, that opened up doors and windows for us to see another
Oh,
side of
wow.
life that we never would have seen, because we came in a very strict church and they didn't want us to know anything going on outside of the church.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
so we had the opportunity. She took us places where, they said she shouldn't take us, but she was good
Mm.
and safe, but she took us, and then in my professional life, or as a professional woman, I'm not going to say in my professional life, because I'm a nurse, but not because I wanted to be.
Oh, okay.
But my aunts encouraged me to be. I had several aunts who were nurses, and I do appreciate their talking to me, because it has helped me to have a profession for the rest of my life.
Mhm.
But when I think about women that I was able to watch, as a young person, I think about my first book. My first book that I read, I believe, was uh, by Maya Angelou.
Mhm.
I Know Why the Caged
Good
Birds
very
Sing.
safe. Yeah.
And and then music wise, Roberta Flack, who just passed away.
Mhm.
I bought her, her little 45. It was the first
Mhm.
record I ever bought with my own money. First time ever I saw
Wow.
her face, right?
Oh,
So,
yes.
but I loved both of those individuals, how they approached their storytelling and their life and
Oh,
their
yes.
their music. I loved it. It was soft. But it was intentional, and it really spoke to me. And I think
Mm.
that's where I started getting some things inside, because I used to like to write poetry. I used to write a lot. I mean, I have notebooks and notebooks, some
Oh,
that my mother wrote stuff, some that I wrote. So I've been writing stuff down for a long time. I just never did anything with it. So
okay.
I believe those women, and I would not know that really until I got older, that they were
Mhm.
really inspiring me and
Mhm.
putting something inside of me that made me want to do something different.
Makes sense.
And then of course in ministry, it would go right back to my mom and my grandmother. My grandmother was the church mother. My mother, she was that pastor's aide and the
Mhm.
coordinator of everything. And so,
Yeah.
so But anyway, it's interesting how we sometimes don't even realize that the people that we have right in front of us are helping us to mold our lives.
Yes.
And so it becomes important for us to be careful who we watch,
Yes.
who
Yes.
we who we take counsel from.
Mhm.
So how do you see the impact of women in today's society?
It's basically what you said. You really have to be careful of who you allow in your space, who you allow in your circle. Women still have an impact. The key is it's twofold. They can have a positive impact and they can have a negative impact.
Right.
I don't like to be around negativity. It brings you down.
Hmm.
But God will put people in your path and you will know because you feel like you have a kindred spirit
Mm.
with people. And then you evolve and you develop
Hmm.
that relationship. You cultivate it.
Hmm.
It's not one-sided. You and I have been friends, I don't know, I think it's 20
Right.
some years. And I still remember the first time I had to call you and how you scared me. And we went to the church. I was like, "Oh, she's so mean." Mother Mouse, you got to call all of
Lord
them and tell them about the
Jesus.
missionary meeting. I don't think I'm calling her.
Oh,
I think you next to last. But that night we sat on the floor. I was on the floor in my hall on the phone talking to you, and we ended up talking for like 3 hours. And that sealed the relationship. And you've been such a blessing to me as well, such a positive impact and encouraging me to even build up on my consulting firm. But I think women can still have a positive
mm.
impact. And our women, mostly our women, our people of color, if we can just get in our heads that we are on the
On the
same
same
team.
team.
You push people, you like to see people prosper. I push
Hmm.
people. Sometimes I push them so much that I negate the things that I need to do. So I'm trying to do better this year because I push, push, push. Oh, let me help. Let me help. And then I have to learn to say no, meaning not obligated. I can't help everybody as much as I would like to. But the key is finding a person that doesn't drain
Right.
you and they don't suck you dry. And then they only call you when they need you. And then when you need them, you can't call
Mm.
them. But women are they're pivotal to the success of this nation.
Mm.
Men may not think that. Some
Oh,
men don't think that, and then some men that do believe that because beside every great man is a great
now I
woman.
heard you say
So
beside.
yeah, not behind. They're beside because when God created us, He took us
Come
from the
on now.
side of Him. He didn't take us from the
Yeah.
back. He didn't take us from the front.
Hmm.
And so even being a woman in ministry, and I told somebody at a session I said, I am fire because I can be very fiery. I'm gonna protect my husband. But I would tell you, I know enough that I have a respect, even though I carry the mantle of a pastor as well. If I need a male pastor, I call his
Mm.
wife. I don't call men
Right,
directly.
right.
I call them male pastor. And I think women need to know their position, especially in ministry. If you have working with your
Hmm.
husband, a woman can tear down a church or they can build it up. But if you're working beside your husband, you make sure that you say, okay, he's the pastor and I'm his helpmeet. I'm here to help him. I'm not going to go before him. I'm going to be
Hmm.
beside him. And then if things don't go right, don't correct him on the floor. You do that pillow talk. I call it. You
You
get
gonna get
pillow
it. Yeah.
talk. Yeah, women, the things are changing because the generation is
Hmm.
different, but they still have to understand the principles, the mainstay things that don't
Right.
change, the things that don't change. Honor your
Hmm.
husband, support him, love him, or even if it's not your husband, the person you want to
Right.
marry. But know as a woman that they always say women can get a man to do anything, almost anything, and I think they can get a man to do anything, but it's how you
Mm.
ask.
It's how you ask them.
Are
Hmm.
you asking?
Now that's great. I saw I don't know if it was a reel or something like that, and it was a man, and he was talking about, um, what's going to happen when that man asks you in the middle of the night to get up and make him a sandwich, and she said, she started out with, and I'm going to tell him to get up and make his own sandwich. And he says, okay, so what happens when he gave a couple of examples, and one of them was, what happens when we're out in the public and someone comes up to you to threaten you? Who are you gonna You're gonna look at me to help you, right? And you're gonna want me to help you as the man. And what happens when we get to the car and you have to get in the car? You're gonna want me, the man, to open the door. And you
Open the door.
and he went through all of these scenarios, and he said, now who's getting up at 2 a.m. to get this sandwich? And she quietly said, me.
Me.
I think with it is a lot of give and take, and you have to know, like you said, you have to know, where you need to give and where you need to take, and so, um, learning the ways to really just be a strong woman and not feel like
Yeah.
you're being stepped on just because someone asks you to make them a sandwich. That's not taking away from your
Right.
womanhood. It's not taking away from your strength. So I think those are things that we're missing in this society, where people are not any longer getting the information that they need on just general womanhood. Just how to
Right.
be a woman. I always think about that little scene that Martin always does with Shanae, because I'm a lady, and you
Oh no.
have to
Yeah.
realize you have to realize that, just doing certain things does not diminish your womanhood. It does not diminish your strength. But how can you, in this society, not only remain a strong woman, but how can you train or teach others, or show others how to be a strong woman? And I know that you always talk about your king. You always, and it's not just about the marriage piece, but let's just stop there for a quick second. When it comes to marriage, you are very strong minded, but you know how to submit to your husband, and you know how to keep him
Mm-hmm.
happy. So just talk a little bit about
Mm-hmm.
that as a woman.
I don't know why my phone looked like my computer looked like it's getting ready to go out. So I might, if you lose them, I'm gonna jump
Okay.
on
All
my
right. All
phone.
right.
So I think mine comes from training. When I got married, my husband was when we married. When I went into the church, he was already saved, but I got saved, and so I learned a lot from the women in church. Mother Wade, Mother Dunlap. Those older women taught me so much,
Mm,
and that set the foundation. Because my mother, she raised 6 kids. She didn't have a husband at home.
mhm. Okay. I think we're losing her. I think we're losing her. If you want to switch over, and we'll bring you back in. I'm going to take this one out until there you go. There you go. She's come back in. So,
Okay, so my thing froze. All right, so
all
she
right.
froze.
So let me take
I'm
you
sorry.
on out. There you
Yeah, it
are.
froze.
It's
I'm
okay.
sorry. Yeah,
Oh,
my
it's okay.
computer.
It's
I don't.
okay. It was a quick move. So at least you were prepared and ready.
Okay, yeah. Yes. Okay, good. Can you see me okay?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm
Yes.
sorry. So, yes, those women taught me the foundation. And then s- reading the Bible, staying in the Word, living a fasted life. So, I do some things because I know that I'm very strong willed
Mm,
and I have to be subject to my husband. And he's very wise.
mhm,
And not many people will put up with me. And I know that because I'm so strong willed. But I
mhm,
know how to be submissive to my husband, and
Mm,
I'm supposed to be, because a loud and unruly, the Bible talks about a loud and unruly woman, and we've seen. I've
mm,
been in ministries where the woman was so forceful and over the man, and the man is so, like, they're not being men, but
wow.
the women are so overbearing, and that's not a good look for
Hmm.
either of them. And so I endeavor to always make my king look like a king, and I put him up, and I would never, and that's an agreement. I would never embarrass him, never make him feel small, because I don't care how many degrees I have on my wall. He
Mm,
is still the head of my life. He is still the
mm,
head in our family. And I might have the book sense,
mm.
because I mean, I went to school. I literally
Right,
went to
right, right,
school
right.
to get these degrees. But he has a whole lot of, what do you call it? Real world.
Common sense. Yeah,
He might
yeah,
have common sense.
yeah.
I have that too.
Right,
But
right.
he
But
excels in that area. And then his
yes.
interpretation is a revelation that God gives him of the word. So I
Hmm.
think for me, the main thing would be the word, stand in the word, being grounded and rooted in the background of the foundation that I was presented with when I first got saved, because I was 19 when I got saved. And
Mm,
then I was 20 when I got married.
mm,
So I was 20 years old. So I had just gotten saved, but I mean, I was brought up in the church, Baptist
mhm,
church, and then I went to St. Mark, and I had to learn holiness. And then
mhm,
my mother-in-law, she was a big proponent. Her husband walked out on her, but they never divorced.
mm,
And she said, preaching one day, she said, "I let another woman take my husband."
mhm.
She preached that across the floor. And
Yeah.
I was like, that will never be my story, mother.
Right, right.
So
Yeah,
you do what you have to do to build your house up. You build your
absolutely.
house. Like you said, you have to build it up.
Oh, that was really good. That's
Mhm.
really good. Because I know I didn't get married until I was over 50.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, yeah, I was 51 when I got married. So, it was hard for me breaking a lot of personal habits and being having to be my own strength or my own, you know what I mean? Having to do everything for myself and be that, independent person. And so it was kind of hard breaking
Wow.
those habits and it's something that you have to be ready for. You
Hmm.
have to be able to make adjustments where it's needed. But that not only goes in marriage, it just goes in life.
Life. Yes.
It just goes in
Yes.
life. And that, again, as we said earlier, understanding that submitting in different ways does not take away your strength at
That's right.
all times. Now, sometimes it will take away your strength if you submit to the wrong powers.
Right.
But where it's needed, just because you're, what they said, they don't want the angry black woman, you know,
Yeah.
or something like that. So, or the woman who's bitter, I mean,
Mhm.
those things are things that are not really being taught a lot anymore.
No.
And like you said, you grew up with that teaching, which was great. It gave people an opportunity. I know I grew up with that. I grew up with it to a degree because a lot of people in my church were single. It
Wow.
wasn't a lot of married women. Most of the
Oh,
women, I came from a different environment. And in
okay.
New York, many of the women, they had gotten married, they had kids, and their spouses left. And so, and like you said, they didn't divorce. They was just hanging around and, come by every now and then, And
Wow.
so I saw a different side of marriage. I saw a different side of relationships. And
Hmm.
so it was hard, making some transitions for me after 50 years old. It was really hard because, again, I was that self sufficient woman. I was that strong woman trying to do everything for myself. And now I have to submit to this man, you know?
Yes. Yes.
So,
Now.
so I appreciate that. Now, This is such a topic that we can go on and on. So we're not going to, we're not going to
It's needed, yeah.
stay
We
there
need the
because
seminar.
we need that seminar, but that's your ministry. So tell us about
Mhm.
tell us about what you have in mind for your future, anything that you want to share, or I would like for you to just give a word of inspiration to the women out there. I can't see everybody that's on. I am on a new system, but I can see April Miller. I'm not sure who that is, but she's been hanging out with us. Thank you so much, April, for
That's you,
hanging out with us.
April.
Thank you so much for
Mhm.
hanging out. And I see there's two other people hanging out with us. So thank you, thank you, thank you for joining us. Share this stream, let someone else know. We had a few little back moments in the beginning, but we are out there live apparently. So,
Mhm.
but share something with those who are watching or those who may watch later. As we go further in this International Women's Month, and as we go throughout this year, how can our women be more be more you know I'm trying to think of a good word, but be more productive in this society.
That's that can be a challenge in and of itself because it's what it's individualized. Excuse me. I always want to be a lifelong learner. So that's why I continue to go to school. I'm done with school. Go to school and try to build myself up because knowledge is power. I have so many books. I have so many books. I'm still buying books. I read a little. I have the paper books too. I have
Mhm.
audio books I listen to. So I build myself up because as we age, we sometimes we can lose. Well, we will lose some of our brain cells, and so
Yeah.
we change. Like you say, you got married over 50. I mean, I was 20 when I got
Mhm.
married, but I was still young.
Right.
No, I didn't have a real good role model growing up. I had a single mother. So
Mhm.
all that I learned it in church. And so for women today, you can be whatever you want to be. You can do whatever you want to do. And my mother, I say she pushed education because she didn't have education. But my mother was a supervisor on her job. So
Mhm.
that just because you're educated doesn't mean that you'll get the best jobs. And just because you're not educated, all of my kids went to
Absolutely.
college. They didn't graduate, but they all held management
Mhm.
positions.
Mhm.
So that's what we put in them. That's what we instilled in them. Even my husband was a supervisor, but they don't have degrees. But
Mhm.
that doesn't define you. Now I started a profit, which is the outreach ministry of our church, Redemptive Grace Ministry, under the leadership of Senior Pastor Daryl L. Hughes. It's
Yeah.
called Unity and Community Connections. And so many people were saying, it's hard to get a 501c3 for a nonprofit. And or they were charging me thousands of dollars. 3,000 was the
Mhm.
highest. But I started reading and I figured out and I discovered that the
Mm.
IRS created a condensed version of how to apply for a 501c3.
Wow.
Very
Okay.
condensed. And
Wow.
so I did it.
Mhm.
And probably it may have been 3 or 4 weeks. I believe it was 3 weeks. I
Okay.
received a 501c3
That's
for Unity and Community Connection. So I said, okay, I told a couple of people, I'll do yours for free to make sure I got it right. But I know that I have it right. So
mhm.
as a woman, be confident in your ability to do it. You can do it. I was a full-time student. I was a mother. I was on 15 positions in the church, and I was a football mom. And
Mm.
I supported my sons playing football. I supported my husband. He had dinner every night, he had breakfast in the morning. I worked full-time, and I was a full-time student. And I pushed
Good.
myself. And that's what you have to do. You have to push yourself. You fight for what you want and you go after what you want. And
Right.
never, ever, ever, ever let somebody tell you that you can't do it. Because you
Mm.
are a beautiful Black woman.
All
And
right.
we can be, I have one of my girls, I call the B, hey BBW, beautiful black women. We're
Uh-huh.
smart. We're intellectual. We have what it takes to succeed. We're business owners.
Mhm.
Go, I heard this man say today, go past the fear. I
Mhm.
watched Chief Apostle McCoy Eden for the first time.
Mhm.
He said, push past the fear. If God has
Yeah.
put something in your spirit to do it, if he gave it to you, he'll help you. He'll
Yeah.
help you. He'll give you the wisdom. He'll give you the know-how. He'll put people in your path,
Mhm.
send people your way to
Yes, he
help
will.
you and encourage you. And everybody's not going to charge you for it.
Right.
They're not going to charge you for it. They're going to do some things and you
Mm.
give them a donation and they'll be blessed because
Mhm.
it's an honor when somebody asks me to do something. Now, I can't help everybody.
Right.
And sometimes I want you to compensate me. And sometimes I want you to know that I am worth it
Mhm.
because you are worth it. And if you
Absolutely.
decide to charge somebody $75 an hour for a consulting fee,
Mhm.
somebody else charges them $150 an hour for a
Right.
consulting fee. So you just be, be encouraged and know that you can do it. You can
Mhm.
be whatever you want to be. You can have whatever you want to have. Husband peeping in here.
Yes.
You can do it. So
Yeah.
just do it.
Just do it. Just do
Just
it.
do it.
I love it. I love it. I actually was working on, like you said, I just opened a new store, and I'm so
It's
excited about
wonderful.
it. And I did a new shirt, and I love it. I love because a lot of times we get so sidetracked and we just think that
Oh yeah.
that's for somebody else. But
Mhm.
if you have the ability to do much more than you think you can do most
Yeah.
often, you know,
Yes, we do.
and I just in my spirit it just came up, just do something. Just do something.
Mm.
Write,
Hmm.
speak, create, produce. Just do something.
I
And
like that.
so, yeah, so, there are so many different ways that we can be a part of this society, that we can help to increase the society. And
Hmm.
it's just things like what you're talking about now, having that outreach, having the pushing education or pushing,
Hmm.
and like you said, everybody may not graduate from college, but you need to have some kind of education. I went
Hmm.
to college also, and I did not graduate, but then I went to nursing school, and I'm currently in management positions. Had another interview today for a management position, and
Wow.
they said to me, uh, "Well, I said, well, I applied, I interviewed for this position before, and she said, well, if you got that far, we don't need to do all of that anymore. I just need you to come in and do such and such." So, you never know, the doors will open for you.
Exactly.
If you trust and believe that you have the ability, that you have the power to do something great, you can more than likely get it
Do
done.
it. Yes.
You can do it. You can do it. But if you have
Hmm.
the belief, because you got to believe in yourself,
You have to.
you have to
You have
believe in yourself. Well, our time is way over. I said to Dr.
30
Michelle,
minutes.
I said we're only going to do 30 minutes, but it's just like she said earlier, once we get to talking, it's I did have a few little things in the beginning too that kind of slowed me down. But listen, I am so excited to have you here with me as always. You always bring us
Yes.
nothing but great knowledge and inspiration. And so I
Thank you.
appreciate you coming and taking time with the women that are here today. Thank you all that have taken the time to join in. I see more of you popping in. And like I said, I can't see where you're popping in from. No, if you want, you can leave us a message in the chat and we'll respond to you at a very earliest convenience, because we're so excited just to know that you have taken the time to join us on today. So I appreciate each and every one
Yes.
of you. And I hope, I'm sorry, I hope that you will join us once again. On, we'll be back here on next week. I will be coming back and sharing some things. And I believe I'll have a great guest with me. So make sure that you follow me, stay connected so that you can get all the updates. Like I said, we are doing some new things. And so getting used to all the newness, all the newness. Dr. Michelle, it's been a pleasure and I
Thank you.
appreciate you. And I hope that your week um, gets better and better as you go throughout the week.
Thank you
And
for having me.
happy International Women's Month. And I thank you for being that inspiration.
Amen. God bless you. Thank you. Love you.
We love you
Thanks for
too.
having me.
All right. So, listen, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to just take the time to, like, tag, and share, and let others know that, we were online today, and send them the stream, let them catch up with the conversation. I also want to tell you about a few. Of my new things that I have. I want you to take the time, if you'd like, to support and go over to my website and or my store, and there you can purchase or see what we have in store. Listen. It's so many people out here that has so many great things available for us, but I'm gonna pump my own stuff today. All right. So I want you to visit my store at MsG'sPlaceVIP.com if you don't mind. Going over there and just check out some inspirational merchandise that I've created. I do have a lot more coming. I'm working on getting some uh, approvals before I put them out, but I do have more things coming. But listen, there is so much inside of you. And just like I have taken the time, I believe that you can do the same thing too. If you're interested in learning more about how to grow as a person in business and ministry, feel free to reach out to me also at gwenfinley.org. And I will definitely love to have a moment to chat with you. Uh, we can talk about your new book that you should be writing, or the book that you started writing and you didn't finish writing. Let's get it going. Let's get it going. I have some new things that I'm getting ready to also share. And so I want you to make sure that you stay connected. I appreciate each and every one of you. As you see, I have some of my little merchandise out here. I started looking at some things so that I could prepare for a few people. I'll show you just a few things. We've got t-shirts. We've got t-shirts. We've got uh, tote bags. We have some mouse pads. We have all different styles of the mouse pads. And I have some tumblers, some nice cups, tumblers. They're awesome, awesome, very, very nice tumblers. And then online, there are a few more items, just coffee cups, things that you may be interested in. So take the time and go on over. You can look and see what's over there, and you can um, spend a little money, have a little fun. It's all good. All right. So, listen, I want to thank you once again for being a part of my show, and I will see you on next week. Thank you again, and you have a wonderful, wonderful evening.